Devi Jai Gurudev ki Jai. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj and purport from A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Madhya Lila Chapter 1. The later pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even if a person with no knowledge can immediately acquire all knowledge simply by the benediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore I am praying to the Lord for his causeless mercy upon me. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Goda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. Glory to the all-merciful Radha and Madan Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. In a temple of jewels in Vrindavan, underneath a desire tree, Sri Sri Radha Govinda, served by their most confidential associates, sit upon an effulgent throne. I offer my humble obeisances unto them. May Gopinathji, who attracts all the gopis with the song of his flute, and who has begun the most melodious rasa dance on the bank of the Jamuna in Bamsibat, be merciful upon us. All glories unto Sri Gora Hari, who is an ocean of mercy. All glories unto you, the son of Saci Devi, for who you are the only friend of all the fallen souls. All glories unto Lord Nityananda and Advaita Prabhu, and all glories unto all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas Thakur. I have previously described in synopsis the Adi Lila, initial pastimes, which have already been fully described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. I have therefore given only a synopsis of those incidents, and whatever specifics were to be related have already been given in that synopsis. To describe the unlimited pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not possible, but I now wish to relate the chief incidents and give a synopsis of those pastimes occurring at the end. I shall describe only in synopsis that portion which Vrindavan Das Thakur has described very elaborately in his book Chaitanya Mangal. Whatever incidents are outstanding, however, I shall later elaborate. Actually, the authorized compiler of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srila Vrindavan Das, the incarnation of Vyasadeva. Only upon his order am I trying to chew the remnants of food that he has left. Placing his lotus feet upon my head in great devotion, I shall now describe in summary the Lord's final pastimes. For 24 years, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at home, and whatever pastimes he performed during that time are called the Adi Lila. At the end of his 24th year, in the month of Magha, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, the Lord accepted the renounced order of life sannyas. After accepting sannyas, Lord Chaitanya remained within this material world for another 24 years. Within this period, whatever pastimes he enacted are called the Shesha Lila, or pastimes occurring at the end. The final pastimes of the Lord, occurring in his last 24 years, are called Madhya Lila and Antya Lila. All the devotees of the Lord refer to his pastimes according to these divisions. For 6 years of the last 24, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all over India, from Jagannath Puri to Bengal, and from Cape Comorin to Vrindavan. All the pastimes performed by the Lord in those places are known as the Madhya Lila, and whatever pastimes were performed after that are called the Antya Lila. The pastimes of the Lord are therefore divided into 3 periods, the Adi Lila, Madhya Lila and Antya Lila. Now I shall very elaborately describe the Madhya Lila. For 18 continuous years, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at Jagannath Puri, and though his personal behavior instructed all living entities in the mode of devotional service. Of these 18 years at Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 6 years with his many devotees. By chanting and dancing, he introduced the loving service of the Lord. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu from Jagannath Puri to Bengal, which is known as Godadesh. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu overflooded that country with the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is by nature very much inspired in rendering transcendental loving service to Lord Krishna. Now, being ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he distributed this loving service anywhere and everywhere. I offer innumerable obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is so kind that he spread the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to address Nityananda Prabhu as his elder brother, whereas Nityananda Prabhu addressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his Lord. Although Nityananda Prabhu is none other than Balaram himself, he nonetheless always thinks of himself as the eternal servant of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu requested everyone to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant his glories and utter his name. Nityananda Prabhu claimed that person to be his life and soul, who rendered devotional service unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, Srila Nityananda Prabhu introduced the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to everyone without discrimination, even though the people were fallen souls and blasphemers. They were delivered by this process. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then sent his 2 brothers, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, to Braja. By his order, they went to Sri Vrindavan Dham. After going to Vrindavan, the brothers preached devotional service and discovered many places of pilgrimage. They specifically initiated the service of Madan Mohan and Govindaji. Both Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami brought various scriptures to Vrindavan and collected the essence of these by compiling many scriptures on devotional service. In this way they delivered all rascals and fallen souls. The Goswamis carried out the preaching work of devotional service on the basis of an analytical study of all confidential Vedic literatures. This was in compliance with the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus one can understand the most confidential devotional service of Vrindavan. Some of the books compiled by Srila Sanatana Goswami were the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Dasham Tipani, and Dasham Charita. We have already given the names of 4 books compiled by Sanatana Goswami. Similarly, Srila Rupa Goswami has also compiled many books which no one can even count. I shall therefore enumerate the chief books compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. He has described the pastimes of Vrindavan in 100,000 verses. The books compiled by Sri Rupa Goswami include the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidakta Madhava, Ujjvala Nilamani, and Lalita Madhava. Srila Rupa Goswami also compiled the Dana Keli Komudi Stavavali, Lila Chanda, Padyavali, Govinda Viru Davali, Mathura Mahatmya, and Natekavarnana. Who can count the rest of the books headed by the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, written by Srila Rupa Goswami? He has described the pastimes of Vrindavan in all of them. Sri Rupa Goswami's nephew, Srila Jiva Goswami, has compiled so many books on devotional service that there is no counting them. In Sri Bhagavat Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami has written conclusively about the ultimate end of devotional service. The most famous and formidable transcendental literature is the book named Gopala Champa. In this book, the eternal pastimes of the Lord are established, and the transcendental mellows enjoyed in Vrindavan are completely described. Thus, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and their nephew Srila Jiva Goswami, as well as practically all of their family members, lived in Vrindavan and published important books on devotional service. The first year after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life, all the devotees headed by Sri Advaita Prabhu went to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. After attending the Ratha Yatra ceremony at Jagannath Puri, all the devotees remained there for 4 months, greatly enjoying the company of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by performing kirtan, chanting and dancing. At the time of departure, the Lord requested all the devotees, please come here every year to see the Ratha Yatra festival of Lord Jagannath's journey to the Gundicha temple. Following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees used to visit Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every year. They would see the Gundicha festival at Jagannath Puri and then return home after 4 months. For 20 consecutive years, this meeting took place, and the situation became so intense that the Lord and the devotees could not be happy without meeting one another. The last 12 years, the last 12 years were simply devoted to relishing the pastimes of Krishna in separation within the heart of the Lord. In the attitude of separation, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared mad, both day and night. Sometimes he laughed and sometimes he cried. Sometimes he danced and sometimes he chanted in great sorrow. At those times, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would visit Lord Jagannath. Then his feeling exactly corresponded to those of the gopis when they saw Krishna at Kurukshetra after long separation. Krishna had come to Kurukshetra with his brother and sister to visit. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance before the cart during the festival, he always sang the following 2 lines. I have gotten that Lord of my life, for whom I was burning in the fire of lusty desires. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sing this song, Seta Parananata, especially during the latter part of the day, and he would think, let me take Krishna and go back to Vrindavan. This ecstasy was always filling his heart. In that ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited a verse when dancing in front of Lord Jagannath. Almost no one could understand the meaning of that verse. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva, under the Saci tree. That is my desire. This verse appears to be the hankering between some ordinary boy and girl, but it is actually deep meaning, was now known only to Swarup Damodar. By chance, one year, Rupa Goswami was also present there. Although the meaning of the verse was known only to Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, after hearing it from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately composed another verse that described the meaning of the original verse. After composing this verse, Rupa Goswami wrote it on a palm leaf and put it on the roof of the thatched house in which he was living. After composing this verse and putting it on the roof of his house, Srila Rupa Goswami went to bathe in the sea. In the meantime, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to his hut and met him. To avoid turmoil, three great personalities, Haridas Thakur, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, did not enter the temple of Jagannath. Every day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to see the Upalabhoga ceremony at the temple of Jagannath, and after seeing this, he used to go visit these three great personalities on his way to his own residence. If one of these three was not present, he would meet the others. That was his regular practice. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the residence of Srila Rupa Goswami, he accidentally saw the palm leaf on the roof, and thus he read the verse composed by him. After revealing the verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to in an ecstatic mood. While he was in that state, Srila Rupa Goswami came and immediately fell down on the floor like a rod. When Rupa Goswami fell down like a rod, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and gave him a slap. Then, taking him on his lap, he began to speak to him. "No one knows the purport of my verse," Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. "How could you understand my intention?" Saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed various benedictions upon Rupa Goswami, and taking the verse, he later showed it to Swarup Damodar. Having shown the verse to Swarup Damodar, with great wonder, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him how Rupa Goswami could understand the intentions of his mind. Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami replied to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "If Rupa Goswami can understand your mind and intentions, he must have your Lordship's special benedictions." The Lord said, "I was so pleased with Rupa Goswami that I embraced him and bestowed upon him all necessary potencies for preaching the Bhakti cult. I accept Srila Rupa Goswami as quite fit to understand the confidential mellows of devotional service, and I recommend that you explain devotional service to him further. I shall describe all these incidents elaborately later on. Now I have given only a brief reference. This is the verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still I would like to go to the bank of the Yamuna, beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute, playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. Now, O devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking in this way after having seen the Jagannath deity. The subject of his thoughts was Srimati Radharani, who met Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Although she met Krishna there, she was nonetheless thinking of him in the following way. She thought of him in the calm and quiet atmosphere of Vrindavan, dressed as a cowherd boy. But at Kurukshetra he was in a royal dress and was accompanied by elephants, horses and crowds of men. Thus the atmosphere was not congenial for their meeting. Thus meeting with Krishna and thinking of the Vrindavan atmosphere, Radharani longed for Krishna to take her to Vrindavan again to fulfill her desire in that calm atmosphere. The gopis spoke thus, "Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs." The gopis thought, "Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled." In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. The gopis continued, "Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mallows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forest of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions." In this way, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful. His body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with the bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. Okay, we stop here for today. Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila Chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai, Srila Gurudev.
Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama
Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Namaha Gopala Govindaram Shrimada Sudanam Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohanam Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Galadhara Shiva Saci Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunanda Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Raghunanda Ishwari Gosai Kori Charana Vandana Yahute Vichana Krishna Purana Ishwari Gosai Janna Muri Taradasa Vasavara Padare Mukha Pancharasa Mera Charana Devi Vasa Sane Vasa Janame Janame Morare Abhidasa Ishwari Gosai Jabe Bhaja Koila Bhasha Radha Krishna Nitya Riva Koila Padasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Jayamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koiyasa Nama Sankirtana Kore Narodama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Sapai Pai Sisi Kurana Sundara Kiridara Juki
Jai.
Om Vishnu Patsila Bhakti Nimalacharya Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Om Vishnu Patsila Bhakti Suna Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Om Vishnu Patsila Bhakti Rakak Sila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki
Jai.
Sri Rupa Nuga Varga Ki
Jai.
Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Om Vishnu Patsila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Sri Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai Sabhashada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Sabhashada Sri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Govindam Shamakunda Radha Kunda Ki Govindam Ki Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Chu Ki Jai Grantara Chima Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Sri Navadvitam Ki Jai Sri Mayapadam Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Chu Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Nath Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Nath East London Chapter Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Nath West London Chapter Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai All glories to the world devotees Ki Jai Hari Nam Sankirtan